Thank you, family, friends, coaches, the staff of Haines High School, and especially our teachers for believing in us like Mr. Fontenot believes in the Broncos. Please feast your eyes on this handsome bunch, and even though you are already sick of it, please give them another much-deserved round of applause. As I thought over possible topics for a speech, I was struck by how many themes are forgettable. As much as I may have enjoyed speeches in the past, I won't kid myself or you. I do not remember the particulars. As I allowed myself to think further about what made certain graduations unique, it occurred to me that it was the emotion or feelings that developed as I listened that made the event memorable, or in several cases, painfully tedious. I don't have a particular emotion that I want you to recall whenever you happen to dig up those memories from graduation 2012. But I would ask that as you look out on these men and women seated before me, you would remember the ways in which the class of 2012 has impacted your life. You see, in addition to remembering the emotions or lack thereof connected with particular experiences, I find it to be true that we also remember quite vividly the ways in which people have treated us. Author Albert Pine wrote, "What we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for others in the world remains and is immortal." Last year, one of my favorite things, and I think one of our group's favorite things about graduation, was listening to Abby Jones share a nugget about each of her classmates. This year, borrowing her idea, I wanted to express to you the ways in which each individual in this class should be remembered. Adults and kids alike will obviously remember Quinn for his frown and hate of swings. One of my favorite things about Quinn is that he has an innate ability to remember the minute details that the average human does or cannot. Like the time he reminded me about how I told our class that I wanted to be a boy. My reason being I wanted to be able to pee without squatting. So Quinn reminded me of that. We all thought that after Chris, Nate, and Blake graduated, we would die in physics. But Emily certainly does have that Bowman blood and has demonstrated patience with us in that class time and time again. She has fantastic style, taste in music, and possesses the sexiest locks I've ever seen. Maggie has delivered love in the form of hugs as long as I can remember. She has an overflow of joy that somehow keeps delivering even when she's having a bad day or week. Thank you, Maggie, for all of your love and encouragement and a faith that burns so brightly. There's Jackie. Raise your hand, dear. Did you know that Jackie made it into the prestigious honors college at the University of Oregon out of over 500 applicants? Or that she, Elena, and Brooke are going to Africa in a few days? Or that she is an amazing artist? While she has decided to attend UAF this fall, I know that her intelligence and quiet leadership will carry her successfully throughout the adventures to come. Ever since 7th and 8th grade, I, along with pretty much all of the women in our class, have been jealous of Tiwani's beauty and kind demeanor at some point. Her intelligence and sweet temper, paired with her sense of adventure, makes for one attractive human being. I think it runs in that family. Tio, I love how you experience life, soaking it up one experience at a time. As the celebrity, gold digger, and most argumentative person I know, Parker has kept his class on his toes. In 5th grade, I remember pretty much attacking him at recess due to one of many arguments that we had. Since then, our fights have matured significantly, I think, I would agree. And I've learned to appreciate Parker's gritty approach to life. Good luck to you this mining season. More than once, we've seen Anna at school with marker, glue, and shreds of paper all over her hands due to making someone a birthday card or from working meticulously on individual spirit posters. Anna is always the first one to greet a homecomer with a huge hug and questions thrown at about 5 million miles an hour about their experience. I feel like I've only started getting to know you this year, Anna, but I've always loved your ability to make people feel really special. Oh, Haston. Gone are the days when we all thought you were 6'10", maybe 7 foot, and African American. Although he did show up at Haines with a perm and some mad basketball skills, it has been his ridiculous sense of humor and faith that has attracted people. Even though he has only lived in Haines for 2 years, he is such a part of our community and is such a close friend that I actually cried when my mom and I were talking about his family moving. Haxton, as you gear up for collegiate basketball, I can only advise you to just let it happen. Ever since middle school, Austin has diffused many a spirited argument or collision with a witty remark or two. While he enjoys the company of coaches, adults, or older friends, it isn't unusual to find him hanging out with that kid that sticks to him or herself just simply to make them feel more comfortable and included. He is a genuine, loyal, and truly compassionate person. If I were to ask you who you thought the goofiest kid was in our class, you might give me a few different answers. But this guy has a really nice smile that can make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and a laugh that makes your joke seem 5,000 times better than it actually is. Bradley Freed, whatever you set your mind to, you can and will accomplish. I remember when Randy first moved to Haines. I recall my questioning, possibly avoiding manner as he walked around the high school, mostly keeping to himself, with those big black studs in his ears. Now that I know Randy, however, I realize the stereotype I placed on him. He's one of the most outgoing, friendliest people that I've ever met. Almost every day this year, I've seen him greet people in the hallway with a, "Hey, what's up?" genuinely interested about their day. Thanks for being so friendly, Randy. This past year, the occasion presented itself for me to get to know Logie Bayer a little bit more. After his accident, Logan inspired our entire town by making him do life-altering decisions. Before he had even fully healed, he was trying to get out onto the hardwood to begin workouts with his team. Entering the season a little late, he took on the challenge of main point guard and played with spirit and tenacity after Austin was injured early on in the season. Logan, don't ever lose that fire that keeps you rolling. I'm stoked to see what sort of mountains you peak. Cassie, one of our senior artists, has more than once impressed our class with her freedom of expression. She actually did our front cover for the book that you probably are holding or waving your face with. She is the kind of woman that eats what she wants, wears what she wants, and creates what she wants, experiencing life like it should be experienced. You are confident, bold, and I love that about you. Where is she? Please continue creating art that lures the viewer in and hooks them. Many of you who follow athletics know that Tyler has played an integral role on our school's racquetball team. Of course, he isn't as good at racquetball as he is at basketball, but he has grown immensely since freshman year, like a whole 15 inches. What really defines Tyler, however, is not his involvement in sports, but his solid character, which will sustain him throughout his career as a Seawolf at the University of Alaska. Elena vividly sees the beauty in things and in people. She has a selfless heart, willing to give without thinking about what she will get. She's the kind of person we'll hear about years from now, who has traveled the world, tasted fine food, heard some marvelous music, and met some beautiful people. Good luck to you this next year at UAS Elena. Marnie is the type of friend who remembers your birthday and does something about it. She selflessly gives to make others feel comfortable and loved. Marnie's friends, myself included, have at one point or another been jealous when she spends time with her other buddies. She is obviously intelligent, beautiful, and has a heart the size of our state. Love you. Brooke has the kind of attitude and work ethic bosses and coaches dream about. She is a family woman, has a joy about her even when she's not having the best day, and maintains behind-the-scenes leadership by taking on jobs no one else wants, like figuring out our senior trip. She is one of the most sympathetic and understanding people I know. An example of her compassion would be her decision to travel to Africa with Jackie and Elena to work at the orphanage in Tanzania. Yep, she's that awesome. Devin is the sort of kid that can make friends anywhere. He also has a way with women. One of my first memories of Devin was in the 3rd grade when he pulled out this picture of this cute girl in our class, Kisa, telling me she was to be his wife. Of course, that did not last too long, but since then, Devin has improved his wooing techniques. Anyone who has had the opportunity to know Devin personally knows that he is fiercely loyal, a hard worker, and has a joy that extends from his committed faith, making him a really easy person to love. Although I haven't spent much time with Elizabeth, I know her to be a trustworthy, responsible, and kind person. More than once, I've seen her suiting up for volleyball open gym, even after having had a volleyball workout earlier that day. I know she will remain passionate about life long after high school. When the twins first moved to Haines, I had a hard time telling them apart. It's obvious when they're identical. Even after living here for 5 years, people may still distinguish them by their hair, glasses, or even their shoes. But those who have spent even a couple of hours with Ashley and Amy know that while they are both generous, dependable people, they couldn't be more unique. Ashley's compassionate heart and generosity have more than once blessed those around her. One of the things I love about Ashley is her determination in everything. While Ashley didn't have as much natural talent as other players on our basketball team at the start of her career, it was through her hard-nosed attitude, approaching practices and opportunities to grow, that she earned herself a certain position. Ash, your ability to feel so deeply will make you a fantastic nurse. Amy has displayed a wisdom that is rare among high school girls. She approaches things meticulously and also determinedly. She is the kind of person that will get things done when they need to be done. Her patience and love for those around her make her a really likable woman. Leading by example, she encourages those around her to simply be better humans. The thing I am most proud of about Amy is that she is always herself. She's a rock. Harley didn't spend too much time in her class, but he quickly established himself. I will never forget the time we had a project doing English, and instead of simply reading his poetry to the class like everybody else, he rapped it with as much passion as ever known. I know that since graduating earlier this year, he has remained involved with music and will continue to do so. Sierra has an innate ability to love people however they are. Stinky, weird, awkward, arrogant, beautiful, the list goes on. She has brought nothing but joy to us since joining our class this past year. A quote from an adjudicator at Music Fest goes something like, "Those who feel joy have always been the ones who have felt the deepest pain." Sierra has faced adversity in many forms, yet continues to share her love of life and hopeful view of our world each day. I haven't seen too much of Kenny this year, but stories of his hard work ethic have made it into the classroom. One story goes like this. One day, working as a deckhand for Mr. Davis, the day dragged on until like 3 a.m. An exhausted Mr. Davis had called it quits and retired to his bunk when Kenny poked his head into the cabin and asked Davis if he could empty and refill the whole water because it was only a couple of degrees too cold. Mr. Davis responded with a tired, "Sure, Kenny, you go right ahead and do that," smiling to himself and nodding in approval. Kenny, that hard work ethic will serve you wherever you decide to go. Second semester this year, Esther went to Colorado, correct? Why not doing boots? To snowboard and experience a new place. I've always envied her ability to go with the flow and experience the here and now without regrets. By just looking at Esther, you wouldn't know that she went through hundreds of hours of physical therapy to get back to the active lifestyle she loves after a nasty ACL injury. Please keep that desire for exploration. Blake has provided our class with a comic relief, both facetious and distracting. For a couple of weeks at some point during high school, Blake made it a point to tell every female he passed in the hallway that they were gorgeous, provoking many blushes and awkward responses. Thanks for being the happiest bagger at IGA, the best catcher during baseball days, and being the hugest flirt ever. Jerry is the calmest, nicest person in this class. He generally likes to keep to himself, but if his quietude is breached by conversation, it better involve the Raiders or some good music. I have never once heard Jerry say something hurtful or disrespectful to anyone. Plus, he treats his mom well, which is always a good indicator. Thank you for being so kind, Jerry. Although Jeremy Haines isn't with us tonight for our ceremony, I know we have all been blessed by his happiness and determined spirit. I love our class for not being afraid to ask Jeremy how he was doing, and then watching as Jeremy lit up with a huge smile and laugh as he responded with a left or right glance. He has helped turn this class into the respectful young people that we are. This class has established a loyalty and respect towards one another that is a rarity among high schoolers. When I compare my class in this school to those of other communities, I begin to realize how truly unique our experience at Haines High School has been. From the countless ferry rides for extracurriculars, various barrel narratives as given by our own Mr. Davis, and from a gymnasium packed with basketball fans to mooching food off of various staff members, we are so fortunate to have grown up in such a personal environment. In a world where it has become ridiculously simple to click the option of defriend, remove a person's post from your newsfeed, or just forget about a text message, this generation is challenged with an all-in approach to relationships. This quote from George Maloney has taken from The Importance of Being Foolish reads, "Today, I feel the real difference that separates humans is the difference between persons, young and old, who live predominantly on a sensory level, and others who live on a level of greater expanded consciousness. The first group is the object at which the typical American advertisement on TV is aimed. Such value above all else, body comfort, no pain, to eat and sleep well, body beauty, and physical health. The second group embraces the smaller segment of humanity that is pushing always towards a greater synthesis of knowledge, a greater experience of the unified meaning of life, with man's directing all his energies toward that ultimacy. It is my prayer that each of you would continue to extend those energies towards those around you in hope of experiencing that smaller segment of humanity.